if you're struggling to sell something online and make that first online dollar, whether it's a service or a product, I'm about to tell you why that is. And the most simplest explanation to your struggles is because your shit simply sucks. It sucks and no one wants to buy it. That is why you find it hard to make money online. It's because people see your product, see your service, and they just don't want to buy it. You see, no one owes you anything. No one is meant to throw cash at you. And most of the times when people don't buy your stuff, your products, services, it's because they don't like it. They don't want it, right? They don't see enough value in it to throw their hard-earned money onto it, right? Whatever it is that you sell. And again, I say this with the purest intentions possible. What I want you to do in this video is put your ego aside. Let me show you how to sell shit people actually like so you can make more money for yourself. You see, I've made several hundreds of thousands of dollars online by selling shit people actually like and want to buy, but I also lost a lot of money, time, and effort trying to push products or services that the market simply did not want. But my ego kept pushing for it. My ego kept telling me, put in some more time, put in some more effort, and at some point people would just buy it. It's just, business. You gotta grind hard, you gotta put in the hours to see the outcomes that you want to see, but that's not really true at all, and I'm about to tell you why. You probably heard this quote before. It's about grinding hard until you make it, put in the hours. It's not, that's dumb, right? Success is not about working long hours. Success is about working smart. And working smart is selling things that people actually want to buy. So getting on my Miro board right here, I'm going to show you how to get out of your rut and make some money and sell shit people will literally beg you to buy. So the first thing, right? Why people are not even buying your stuff in the first place, if you're wondering. One of the things I've seen that causes people to have so much friction when it comes to selling their stuff is simply market saturation. And I'm not saying that you should blame market saturation as the reason why people are not buying your stuff. I'm saying that you should look into the market that you're trying to sell in, right? Look at what your competition is doing and trying to sell to the same market, and then understand, okay, am I gonna have more luck going into this red market with all of my competition, with the same offers, with the same messages, with literally everything completely the same, right? And I'm a newbie here, and I go into that market, I try to sell the same stuff as everybody else. Will people actually buy it, right? Maybe yes, but it's going to be very, very hard for you to be able to get people to buy because there's literally so many other people selling the same exact stuff as you are, right? And this is the first reason why no one is buying your stuff right now, your services, your products, whatever you're selling, right? So the second reason as to why no one is buying your stuff is because you are not giving an outcome to the person, right? Buying your stuff. People buy stuff, right? Because it makes them feel some type of way, right? It makes them more money, it saves them time, it buys them back time, whatever, right? People buy outcomes. Think about the last time you wanted to have a hot cup of coffee, right? Most of the times you probably go and buy that coffee, $4 or $5 coffee, and you wake up, you get out of your bed, you walk downstairs to your local coffee shop and you go and buy that coffee, not because the coffee tastes so good and you just like the taste of coffee, but 90% of the time you go and buy that coffee because of how it's going to make you feel after you drink that coffee or during or whilst you're drinking that coffee, right? What are some emotional aspects of selling coffee, right? It makes you feel more focused, productive, awake. It boosts your energy, right? You feel successful. I don't know, right? That's something with coffee, right? If you have a cup of coffee in the morning, you feel successful, right? You're about to take on the day. So people buy not the coffee itself. Yes, maybe 10% of it is the actual coffee taste, but people buy it because they want to feel these things here. And sorry for my bad handwriting. Trying to improve it as we go along. So this is why people are not buying your stuff, is because whatever you're selling, whatever product or service, just does not sell the outcome, right, of what they are going to get, right, out of buying your unique mechanism, your coffee, right, your cup of coffee. Now, the third reason why people are not buying your stuff is because maybe you're simply just not getting enough eyeballs onto your offer, right? Maybe your offer is good. Maybe you've differentiated in the market. Maybe you're selling an outcome, but you're still not making any sales. And one of the reasons that could be is because you're not getting enough eyeballs onto your offer. I always like to tell all of my students at Amplify that the more eyeballs that see your offer every single day, no matter what channel you use, the more people are going to convert, right? So maybe you've tried, sending outreach messages, reaching out to people, spending maybe like 1 to 2 hours a day, reaching out to people, sending emails, cold calling, LinkedIn, whatever it is that you do, but you're just not seeing result. Within those 1 to 2 hours, maybe you're able to reach out to 100 people, right? 100 people see your offer every single day. Now, to give you a perspective of what it is that we do at Amplify with several of my offers that I'm currently running, my offer, right, gets quickly, whenever I come up with an offer, right, with something that I want to sell to a particular market, it gets validated very quick. Why it gets validated very quick is because I have prospecting systems that take that offer and put it in front of my target market or my target prospects, and I'm able to get quick feedback on whether I should push this offer or not push this offer, right? And once I get that quick feedback, I'm able to then scale and literally have 5,000 people a day seeing my offer, right? And obviously, the more people that see my offer, the more people that are going to convert. So one of the things that could be limiting you right now and why people are not buying your stuff is because you're simply just not getting enough eyeballs onto your offer. You're reaching out to 100 people a day, sometimes 50 people a day. Sometimes it might be inconsistent, right? So maybe you're sometimes not reaching out to anybody at all. So you're competing with me here, right? Where I'm getting 5,000 people a day to see my offer and convert onto my offer, right? Whereas you only get 100 people on a good day to see your offer, and then you're putting the hours, you get burnt out, and then you're just like, no one's buying my stock, this business model doesn't work, I'm gonna move on to drop shipping, right? So yeah, these are the 3 things on why people might not be buying your stuff. So moving on, how to sell shit that people actually want to buy. The first thing I want you to do is go back and understand your market. Really understand your market, understand your competition, because you gotta understand what type of offers, products, services, solutions, unique mechanism, messages are being or are circulating within that market. You gotta look at your competitors' offers. You gotta look at their messages, their unique mechanisms, right? What is currently floating in the market, and try to understand it. See what solutions are being presented to the problems of your market. So for example, let's take John here. John has a client acquisition problem within his business, right? Let's say John is a marketing agency. Now, solutions that are getting thrown around the market, right? If you see a lot of people pushing like, hey, we will book you 30 appointments per month and you only pay us per appointment, or we guarantee, or we send you $10,000 back, right? The type of offers that are being pushed to John. And maybe John have tried these offers in the past, right? He's tried these solutions before, maybe they didn't work out for him, or maybe he's just bored and tired of seeing the same type of offers, same type of messaging being thrown to his face. So John might still have a client acquisition problem, and he might have already tried these solutions in the market and he's just tired of it. He still has the problem and he hasn't solved it. Now, you got to look, right? And this is really important. You got to look at what type of solutions are being thrown into John, right? And then you got to understand why these solutions are ineffective. Right? So let's say John here, right, worked with an agency that came with him with an offer. We guarantee you 30 appointments in 30 days, or we send you $3,000 back. John worked with that agency, and let's say they've done, I don't know, let's say they've done cold email, and it just didn't work for him. Now, you have to understand why it didn't work for John, right? Because cold email works for a lot of other people, but why did it not work for John? And then you understand the problems that John has to deal with whilst trying this solution to solve his client acquisition problem. And then you want to create a new solution, right? New solution that you could come back to John, right? And be like, hey, John, I know you've tried cold email with an agency who guaranteed you 30 appointments per month and it didn't work out for you. Well, here's a better solution. Here's another unique mechanism that we could use to help you solve your client acquisition problem. Now, your solution doesn't entirely have to be completely different, right? It could still be cold email. But one thing I can tell you is that there's so many different ways to run cold emails that you're going to be able to come up with a better way to run cold emails. Maybe when John worked with an agency, all they did was write some shitty copy and then tried blasting numbers, right? So maybe you could come in and instead of creating one shitty copy and just spamming people for John, you could AI write or personalize every single copy that goes out to every single prospect. So now you're getting the volume, but you're also having AI write a specific message to every single prospect in that contact list, right? And if you go to John and tell him, hey, John, I know why your cold emails didn't work for you in the past is because your previous agency or you tried a shitty copy and tried spamming people. What we do instead is we get AI to write and personalize every single email that goes out whilst not sacrificing volume, right? So this becomes our new unique mechanism. And once we have this unique mechanism, right, where we've looked at the offers that are being presented in the market, we've seen what type of solutions John might have tried to fix his client acquisition problem. We've seen why this solution didn't work for John, right? And he still has this client acquisition problem, right? And then based on the solution they've tried, the problems with that solution, we create a new unique mechanism, right? We don't have to completely switch out from cold emails, but now we're getting AI to write personalized emails for every single prospect that could lead to more positive responses and more appointment bookings, right? So that's our new unique mechanism. And then, right, we can basically take all the offers that are being run in this market and try to reword them completely differently, right? Completely differently, repackage it into completely something new. So if everyone's saying like, hey, we will guarantee you 30 appointments in 30 days or you don't pay us in the marketing agency market, then what you could say is we will connect you with 6 ultra qualified, don't know how to spell, qualified ICP, whoever is John trying to work with, in 36 days. So whilst everyone here is focusing on appointments, volume of appointments, blah, 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 we'll give you so many appointments, you're here telling John, we'll connect you with 6 ultra qualified ICP prospects in 36 days. Now, what is John gonna like more, right? Is he gonna like the volume stuff that everyone is pushing right now? Or is he gonna like the new approach, right? The low number, right? That interrupts patterns, the different day, 36 days. Everyone's saying 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. You're saying 36 days, right? Ultra qualified ICP. No one says that outcome. Everyone says we'll get you appointments, but John in reality just wants to speak to his ideal clients, ideal prospects. And you could even use your unique mechanism, your own unique mechanism, to create an outreach message for John. Right? Now, once you understand your market, right, and you've been able to reposition yourself completely, right, with whatever service product you're selling, the second thing into getting people to buy your shit is eyeballs. You need eyeballs, right? As many eyeballs as possible onto your offer. Now, if you nail the offer part, I have a lot of videos on offers that you can go ahead and watch. If you nail the offer part and you get a lot of eyeballs onto that offer that speaks to your target market, right? That gives them something unique, something new in the market, something that builds up curiosity, interrupts patterns, right? People will literally beg you to buy your stuff, right? People will see your offer. They'll be like, oh, wow, right? That's pretty new, right? This is something I've never seen before, right? It stands out from the rest of the market, right? Let me engage and see how this can help me solve my problem. Right? Then you get as many eyeballs as possible, right? Whether it's through cold emails, whether it's through ads, content, whatever it is. Channel doesn't matter. What matters is your unique mechanism, your offer, and how you package your stuff, your products, services. Then you choose some channels, whether it's, you could run some emails, you could do some LinkedIn, you could do content, right? Put your message or your offer into this channel to your target prospect's eyes, and then you'll make some money. So yeah, looking at this now, this looks like a bunch of gibberish, but I hope you followed me through all the way to the end of this video. I hope it gave you some value. I hope it actually gave you a new perspective on things. I hope it motivated you. Again, this video was not meant to demotivate you at all. I just want to help you, right? I don't want you to try push things to the market that the market simply does not want to buy, because I want you to make a lot of money online. So watch this video again if you need to. Try to understand what I was trying to tell you, or what message I was trying to, give across this camera, and then implement it. Right? I always say to everyone I talk to who needs help, implement, right? Take action, try it out, test it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Whatever, at least you tried. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.